Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. We'll be talking about commercial real estate in Central and Eastern Europe. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and we're here with a special Coffee with Craig show with Volodymyr Tymochko, General Director of Dragon Capital in Ukraine. So, Volodymyr, welcome, and thank you for joining us on the Coffee with Craig show.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for coming to Kyiv.
Yeah, so it's great to be here. Tell us, we always do these shows, they're pretty quick, it's only 10 minutes, but tell us, so we usually just have a few questions, so tell for some of the people watching the show that may not know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself and your, let's say, professional career.
So I've been in real estate since 2004. I started at Colliers and then moved to Dragon Capital in 2007, where I was in charge of real estate. And Dragon was one of the first investment companies that started a public real estate company in 2007 in Ukraine. We raised $308 million in London Stock Exchange, and we did a number of residential development and commercial development projects. And so I've been with Dragon for 15 years,
right?
And we went big in real estate in 2016 after the Maidan of 2014 collapsed the real estate values in Ukraine to below basically cost of construction, replacement costs, and we saw this as a big opportunity to acquire some operational commercial real estate. So we built a team, and we amassed a large portfolio of commercial real estate properties, warehouses, shopping malls, and business centers.
Yeah, I think you were the biggest in warehouses in logistics, yeah? And,
yeah, I think
probably in everything.
We are. And in general, if you look at our portfolio, we grew to 780,000 square meters across these three sectors. That we bought them as existing, sometimes not fully let, but operational properties.
Some value add left in it to do
it was very rarely like a core investment without nothing to do. It was actually all value add,
right? Okay.
Kind of improving tenant mix, fixing, enlarging, reconstructing, optimizing, and so on and so forth.
With the opportunity that you guys saw to improve it, yeah.
There were two reasons to buy. First, the initial yields were very good in 2016, 2019 in Ukraine, all double digits, and actually in some cases above 15%. And the NOIs were growing, so we saw ways to increase NOIs. In some cases, even doubled them.
Right. So 2016 was a bit of a dip in the market, so a good opportunity for you guys to come in at that point, right?
It was kind of the end of the bottom, as everything started in 2014, 15. The devaluation was very abrupt for Ukraine, up to 3 times actually, and so the market recovered, and if it wasn't for Mr. Putin, I think we would continue the growth.
Exactly. I think that's probably at every single person I talk to says the same thing. Though of course, we were doing. There was first the problem in 14, 15, and when they first invaded or started the invasion, let's say, and then
the guy just doesn't give up.
Yeah, and then now, and now more. So let's say I guess the first couple of months you were probably more focused on staying alive and winning, yes, and I guess the whole business in that kind of situation does it just completely go on hold, or there is some operations to do, I would imagine.
Yeah, there was some distressed times. Many people moved out of Ukraine, of my colleagues. We moved our office to Lviv, further from kind of the front lines, and we just made sure that we preserved the properties. And out of about 33 properties that we had, we lost 3 warehouses with a total area of 120,000 square meters due to shellings. The rest of the portfolio survived, just affected by some kind of some collateral damage on one of our malls. And then we returned to Kyiv when it was liberated in end of April, beginning of May. And we have about 40% of our total headcount is now in this office.
Back in Kyiv.
So we started with just a few people, and then as people felt safer, we kind of returned. Some of our portfolio is in the Western Ukraine. It recovered much faster. But about 90% of our exposure to real estate is in Kyiv and Kyiv area. And it is strongly recovering month over month, of course, to...
people coming back naturally.
I cannot expect when it will recover to pre-war levels. But retail grew the fastest. It was affected by two factors: people moving out from Kyiv, emigrating, and then people from the east of Ukraine emigrating to Kyiv. So there was a replacement of population a little bit.
Right.
And right now, actually, the turnovers in Kyiv are not that bad as one could
on the retail.
On the retail side. Offices are affected worse than anything else because, again, it was like a double hit after COVID, They
weren't in the offices anyway for 2 years, right? Or not as many,
I think we kind of were down to about 30% of pre-COVID footfall in our office centers before the war.
Right, okay.
And now we are probably at about 10% of pre-COVID.
So it was recovering, and then this is the war, obviously, big effect. And
so offices got affected. And the warehouses, in terms of physical damage, warehouses suffered the most, I think. The market lost about 20% of total supply.
Right.
So...
Yeah, I heard a number around 400,000 in total, right?
Yeah, it's a smaller market, 2 million plus square meters in total. And but operationally, it is recovering quite well. The tenants kind of kept going, and some basically replaced the weaker ones from those destroyed properties. So it's actually... If you look at this, if you look at Kyiv, if you look at business today, and you remember what it felt like on February 25th, it feels like a miracle.
Right, yeah, it's a lot, yeah.
Who would have thought that Ukraine would have prevailed and the business would keep going? So we are cautiously optimistic, but of course, everything will depend on the outcome of the war.
So are you actively looking to repair these buildings, or looking at more opportunities, or is it really just asset managing and operations these days?
It's operations. I mean, we try to invest the absolute minimum that is required for the properties to operate. So we did the renovations where we had to. We actually just finished renovating one of the smaller warehouses that was affected by shellings. But the focus is, of course, operations, making sure that the turnovers are growing, that it's safe for employees and for the visitors.
Right.
It is very important given, these atrocities that Russians have been doing with the shopping malls. You heard it, you saw it on the news.
I went and visited some actually in Irpin and Bucha. So yeah, I saw the horror.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful not to sacrifice the security for the sake of profits. But the other big thing for us is managing the financials, and we had loans of dollar-denominated loans from European and Ukrainian banks, and we are trying to manage the cash flows efficiently in order to basically stay financially strong over these hardest periods. And we have been able to negotiate with the banks reasonable compromises and to basically kept servicing our debt through the hardest times.
Right. Well, I guess the banks don't exactly want to take any of it over, do they? They want to be probably as flexible as they can be, I would think, these days. Yes.
I think they trust our management expertise more than their own.
They don't want to be managing these properties at the moment, for sure. Yeah.
Especially some European banks. They don't want to open a new office in Kyiv. No?
Right. They're probably happy that you're answering their emails and participating. Yes. And
Dragon Capital is the largest investment company in Ukraine since 2000, and we are here for a long time, and we are not shutting down our operations, and we actually believe in Ukraine, and we are happy that Ukraine got the candidate to EU status, and we think the prospects are bright after the war.
Right. So any client,
for business as well, and for investments.
So any businesses thinking of expanding here, you've got the warehouse space, the office space, and the retail space for them.
Yeah, the full spectrum.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they need it all, right? If it's a retailer, they need office, and they need logistics, and they need warehouse, retail space. Great. Well, Volodymyr, thank you very much. Our time is coming to an end, so thank you for spending the time with me and being on the show. And
sure.
We've got a special
Always
Coffee
pleasure.
with Craig gift for you.
Thank you very much.
So we give one to everyone brave enough to be on the show. So thank you again, and everyone, thank you.
Take care.
Click here to subscribe to the Coffee with Craig show, and don't forget to share it with your friends.